Good morning. I'm at Dunsinnan hill fort just outside Tracce. It's supposedly the hill fort that Macbeth was beaten at by, gosh, I've forgotten the guy's name. I'm sure that'll come to me. I'm off for a nice little morning walk all the way up the hill and across to King's Seat. Supposedly about 2.5–3 hours walk. Never done this one before, so that should be interesting. There seems to be tons of rabbits around here. Everywhere to go. I was driving through Tracce a short while ago and saw about 10. And that's the track I'm going on. We're approaching the top of the hill now, the hill fort. The view's quite spectacular. There's a lot of mist over the river valleys. We can see just about there the mist seems to flow down off the hills. It's a bit difficult to see at the moment. It looks a bit too close, but that could be where the Isla runs down across that way, and then of course almost the whole of the bottom of Strathmore is covered in mist. Quite a spectacular sight. There below is Tracce, just in the near distance here. Difficult to pick things out with so much mist. I think just about there, the little peak sticking out, is Blair Hill. I can see a bit more now. That mist river can't be the Isla. I think that's Blairgowrie just to the left of it. Difficult again to see, which would mean that that little trickle of mist over there is where the Isla is. And I live somewhere there. Can't tell, it's too hazy. I'm right up against the quarry at the moment. Heck of a amount of stones come out of here. Again, impressive sight. And that up there is the top of the fort. It's right at the top. So we'll go and have a look at that now. We can see Perth here now. All across the near distance. That there is Perth Aerodrome, I think. So that's Scone. Perth in the background. That white building there, that must be the old IBM building, I think. I didn't realise it was so close to it. If that's the case, the M90 runs just behind it. Seeing quite a distance there. And round here we're just seeing the Tay and a bit of a village. I'm not sure which one that is. And still a bit more to go to get to the top of the hill. I'll have a look on the map in a minute, but this area here could be what they call Malcolm's Well. I'll check in a minute. Well, I've reached the top. It's quite a steep climb, really much steeper than I expected. We're about, I think it's 280 metres at this point. We can see the quarry down there below us. And the top of this fort, much smaller than I expected. It's like Barry Hill. You look at it and you think, well, how many people are actually going to be able to stay up here and survive? Apparently these are the remains of Victorian excavations. just move over a bit closer and have a look at those. You can see how difficult this place would be to attack. Just look at the drops down here. You'd be worn out just trying to get up these hills, never mind carrying fighting gear and people presumably throwing things down at you. All these pits and this trench here that we can see, this trench running along here, that's the Victorian excavations. And what a mess they made. The sheep seem to be used to visitors up here. Not the foxes though, a disturbed one, just a little bit lower down by the what I think was Malcolm's well. Malcolm Canmore, by the way. It went belting off. Nobody often see him here. So we're looking south now and we can see the tail a little bit better. It sort of peeks out here and just about there. Not very clear because everything's misty. Wow, how about living down there? Look at that. That's a lovely house. Surrounded by woodlands. Gosh, what a beautiful place. Well worth the climb. Oh, look, wow. Perth Aerodrome, directly in front of my finger. Just above that, I think I'm pointing to it exactly now, there's a balloon just rising from Perth. That'll come up in a minute. It's sort of dark red. It's actually a lot brighter than that. It should be a lot brighter than that, but appears dark red here. Yes, definitely going up because of all the mist and the strange light. So that's taken off usually from somewhere around about the river. Come back to that in a minute. Obviously they think it's going to be a very still day. Now look at the slopes on this. This is Black Hill opposite us. And I'm supposed to go down into that lot and up onto the top of that lot and over that way to King's Seat. But to be honest, I could just stay here. It's beautiful. The views, fantastic. What's this? Piles of rocks somebody's decided to dig out. These are excavations. This looks like a mound that was dumped out by the Victorians. As I say, I mean, look at the sheep there. They're about halfway to the far side of this top of this ford. I suppose there would have been sub bits down here as well, but you couldn't get many people living in this small area for very long. Just a quick peek at the balloon. It's now just there. Just there. It's above the horizon. Doesn't seem to be gaining any more height. And by the way, I got the binoculars out, and that building at the back, that white slab, I can see the windows on it. It is the IBM building, and just below where the balloon is, that is Perth Aerodrome at Scone. That's me just dropped a little bit off the top. Starting to walk down now to the southeast. There's a bit of a trail here. What I'm supposed to do is go down to the bottom of this little valley and then take these zigzag paths up the side of Black Hill. 360 metres. I'll see if I'm going to do that when I get to the bottom. It's a bit steep. It's turned out to be a grand day. It's a bit difficult to know this morning what to wear. It's as if it didn't look that inviting when I set out. Everywhere was a bit misty, and yesterday had been really an awful day until about 5 o'clock when the sun finally came out. Until then it just rained and rained, and it was actually quite cool, really changeable. Yesterday was Saturday. On Friday was so roasting that I had a wet bandana on my head in the evening to try and cool down. I was overheated. And this morning is now getting quite warm. Oh, there's the balloon. We've dropped a bit, so it now looks to be low on the horizon. Should be able to just see it there. It's standing out quite a bit now. That building that I spoke about, the IBM building, that's 7 miles away. And the Scone Perth Airport, which is just there, is 4 miles away. So even with the mist we're seeing quite a distance. I think that balloon is dropping, can't tell. Anyway, onwards and downwards, as they say. I'm at the low point now, just to give you an idea of how high these are, how steep they are. That's where I'm going. And this is where I've been. Dunsinnan, however you wish to say it. And then round to the north. Off we go. Still making my way to the top. Just wanted to stop and film that. Wouldn't you just love to live there? That's beautiful. Oh well, a bit more to go. Well, I've made it to the top of Black Hill. Now looking down on Dunsinnan. You can see the top of the fortification there. There's a little mound of stones which I was sitting on earlier on the right, the north of the hill. Look at that cliff face there, the sheer drop. You can also see various earthworks, I guess, there. I suppose I was being too simplistic earlier when I said that it's difficult to understand how many people could actually survive on the top. But if this was fortified right round these lower hills as well, which I'm sure it would have been, then that would have just been a keep, somewhere to fall back to in a dire emergency, where the high people sort of lived, I guess. And in all that area, maybe even down to here, there's quite a lot of room. The balloon's gone down now. I can just see a smudge of red just to the left of Perth Airport. I saw it land. Difficult to tell it was landing, of course, at this distance, but the balloon became misshapen. Instead of being a perfectly aligned vertical teardrop, it veered across to the south, so clearly the basket had landed and it was tilting. In fact, I think as I'm watching it I can see it getting smaller. And round here to the south we can see East Lomond over there, and West Lomond. The M90 goes to the south of that. I'm not sure what the village is there, but that's the Tay. Very difficult to see, I guess, because of the mist. Runs behind this bit of a hill here, across there, and there's the Tay rail bridge, and I'm guessing the further one of those is Dundee Law on the horizon there. So that's Dundee in that direction there. Dundee's actually below those hills. So we're seeing quite a distance. We're looking southeast there, Dundee, follow it round. We've got the Tay all round here. Abernethy's, I think that's probably New Tile. I can't remember the name of the place. I think it's New Tile. Abernethy will be about there. As we come round, we've got Perth, Scone in the near distance. That'd be Balbeggy, probably. Right round here. Collace, near to us here. I think that's Cooper Angus, the mid distance, with Blairgowrie on the hill over there. An outhouse vanished into the mists, looking northeast there. Whew, cooling down a bit now. I've had to take my jacket off. I'm soaked in sweat. Beautiful. So we're off in that direction. I need to look at the map. If that's King's Seat up there, it's closer than I thought. I'll check. Look at these hills. You can see the way they've been smoothed there. And there's a pool there, a loch or something. I don't know what that is. I'll have to check. Well, I can see King's Seat now. I've decided to save that walk for another day. There it is. Centre of the picture just there. So that's 377 metres. We're about 360 here. Need to drop down something like 60 metres into the bottom here, and then climb up. Climb up about 80 metres, and it looks like it's a bit rough, rather like this. Just walking through heather. It's quite tiring. So I'm going to turn back at this point and save that peak for another day. Must admit I've enjoyed it. It's lovely up here. Apart from the birds and the breeze, there's nothing to hear at all. It's a pity about the haze. Well, I think we'll set off back down. Ground's very uneven. Somebody's built a little cairn here. This is the high point of Black Hill. That house we were looking at earlier on, down below us.